Thank you so much for your time today, Dr. Tiago Moreira. It's really, really good to see you as always.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Would you mind just to start off by giving us a bit of background about who you are, your training, your experience?
Yes, so I'm 50 years old. I come from Lisbon, Portugal, where I grew up. I trained and studied in Lisbon University Hospital. And when I was 27, I decided to see new country. It's always been a part of my career to try to do new things and discover new cultures. I like this very much. So when I was 27, I decided to go to Sweden, which is, diametrically opposed to Portugal, weather, culture. And I was very curious about working there as a physician. So I went there and I started doing research when I arrived, and I got so passionate about it, research in neuroscience, namely stroke and diabetes and inflammation. And so I got really hooked, let's say, in the work and in the culture. And then also I met my future wife there. So I stayed there for a while, did my PhD. Then we decided to move to Switzerland after that period. And by then I completed some part of my research as a postdoc. And there I was missing the clinical again. And at this point, I already knew I wanted to be a neurologist, and I applied for a residency there in Lausanne. Lausanne is a very famous school and very research-oriented school also within stroke. So I was very happy they accepted me to train there. So I did my residency, half of it in Lausanne, where I learned a lot about stroke, namely from Professor Patrick Michel. He was my mentor, Professor Lawrence Hirtz also. And from then on, life also happened. I was expecting my first child with my wife. We decided to move back to Sweden. So in Sweden, I continued my residency, and then I did my career there now for 15 years before coming to the UAE. And there I then, slowly became head of the residents, responsible for the training of the residents, and then head of section of neurology, and, became associate professor there.
Yeah.
And then 2-3 years ago, something was telling me I need something new. I need something different. I want to see a different part of the world. I have been here for congresses and research.
Yeah.
And there was one person that was very, very enthusiastic within stroke here in the UAE, which is Dr. Suhail Al-Rukn, and very dynamic, very encouraging, also very curious person. And these contacts in the last decades made me want to come here and discover how is it to work here, how is it to live here.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Yeah.
It's like,
thank you so much. No, I've always been inspired, since I've known you, because of what you do, and because of my nursing background. The fact that you deal with, these patients in such emergency situations like strokes, it's just such an honourable job. It's like, did you know straight away? When you first went into neurology, did you know straight away that you wanted to specialize with strokes, or how did that come around?
Yes, it's a very good question. I got interested in stroke when my grandmother had a stroke. So I was a teenager, and I could see firsthand how stroke affects someone, how the brain functions, and how there were no treatments back then. It was just aspirin. And this made me curious from the start. And then when I entered medical school, everybody wants to be a cardiologist in the beginning. It's very fascinating. PCI was on the rise in the 90s, and so I thought of cardiovascular. But then when I had my neurology course, I realized, no, this is the brain. The brain is really my fascination, how the brain works.
Yeah.
And I started very early to do extra shifts on the emergency department. And I realized that stroke was really an area that needed more study, more development. And, the passion grew from there, from that point on, so very young.
Yeah.
And slowly, I came to it. But once I got the feeling for it, I never wanted to do something else.
See, I've never asked you that before, actually. Because what I've noticed since I've been in this business is that most of the doctors that we work with, they have a reason why they chose that specialty. There's always a story. Well, there's usually a story, and I didn't even know that about you.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, if I look back, this is the first, let's say, contact I had with the disease. Of course, I'm a neurologist. I treat other brain diseases. I'm interested in all of them. There is no disease within neurology that is not interesting, and we are a bit famous for liking, the rare, the complicated, or the
Yeah.
so I have a lot of pleasure, but that's I'm not a surgeon, but I'm very interested in the acute and the dynamic change
Yeah.
that you can do to a person's function and life if you do it quick and if you
Yes.
do it right.
Yes.
So it for me is very
Yeah.
fulfilling to see the effect when it goes well.
Yes.
That the next day the person, instead of being paralyzed, she's walking and talking. So it's
Yeah.
very
I understand.
Mm.
It's like urgent situations, like emergency.
Yeah.
You need someone who knows what they're doing, how to see that
Yes,
patient,
yes.
and
And it
yeah.
requires training and
Yeah.
organization. It's not depending on just one person. It's the whole team. So it's the emergency, the EMS, the ambulance, the emergency department, the nurses, the radiologists,
Yeah.
the interventionists,
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not just like, you've done so much, like in your career, like the amount of publications, the amount of research. Like when we first met, when you first came to UAE, we had a coffee together and we was talking about, the extensive efforts that went into your research projects previously, and like you've always stood out to me because of the amount of like effort you've put into what you do, and I know it's not easy because with your job specifically, it's like you're one of those specialties that it's a lot of responsibility. And when you're leading a department, when you're in the hospital, like if there's an emergency coming in, it's like you can't just go home.
No.
Like and sometimes you might be off duty and you'll get called and you have to attend. Like that is not normal. Like that's not a normal job, and
No.
it requires like a specific like passion,
Yes.
So that's why I wanted to ask you about that. That was
Yes.
yeah.
No, it's very crucial, of course, the engagement that you have as a person, and the situation of sometimes you have to help your younger colleagues, residents, or there is a complex case that you need to discuss with other seniors. So it's very important to be available. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to also find balance in your work life, family life.
Yeah.
And I mean, you do your best. You have to do your best in this situation.
So I suppose like that would be the importance, like someone of your position of, yeah, of course you need to have work-life balance and your family and be with your family as well. And it's like, but I can understand the importance, especially with what you do, to have a good team, how to build a team so that you can rely on each other for when
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is crucial.
Yeah.
It's crucial because you in this matter of minutes, you have to discuss this with your peers. The radiologist, the neurointerventionist. You have to discuss. There's no other way.
Yeah.
And you have to reach a decision.
Yes.
And of course, you alone cannot bear all the weight of this decision process because you are just part of the whole. Let's say you have to be in communion with these other health professionals to reach the best treatments.
Yes.
Okay, and then after even the acute treatment, you have the rehabilitation. You need to be allied with the health professionals for physiotherapy, occupational, to achieve the best outcomes.
Yeah. So that would be an interesting question, actually, because you've worked in 3 different countries previously.
Yep.
So how has your experience been coming to the UAE? We have so many different nationalities. We have doctors from different training systems, countries. Like, how's that been built?
Yes. Look, it's very enriching. I find the pleasure in this every day. I go to work. I learn a lot from other nationalities. They help me translating to, I don't know, the different 15 languages we have in the world. I get along with everybody, and I feel very, very proud. I feel a communion, really. We are from so many different backgrounds, but in these moments, we push each other and things work well,
Yes.
So, yeah, it's
Amazing.
very, very beautiful. Yes. I like it very much.
So, Tiago, so you was previously the Associate Professor of Karolinska University Hospital before you relocated to, and also you was the head of the section, and this is one of renowned hospitals for stroke.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it that made you curious about UAE initially?
Yes, as said previously, this is an area with large burden of the world stroke here, and with population coming also from Southeast Asia, with a high burden of risk factors, and still growing, organizing and able to recruit from other countries the professionals that will then be involved in this stroke healthcare. And for me, this dynamic of growing, bringing people here from different parts of the world, very well trained physicians from Canada, UK, USA, many different places. This dynamic of growth, these investments, having also access to financing and having the latest technologies, latest hardware, machines, this creates a drive that sometimes in Europe is fading a bit. Let's say this dynamic.
Yeah.
In Europe, for instance, there is a lot of economic pressure. Every year, their budget, problems. Everything's very expensive. I've been in the last years also, as head of section, facing, cuts in here and there.
Yeah.
Sometimes number of beds, lack of nurses, and right now here in this area there's a dynamic of upwards,
Yes.
swing, and this makes you a little more, relaxed and available for developing and organizing.
Yes, you can make more impact.
More impact, yes. And I felt that this was a thing that seduced me to come here.
Yes.
And then also I achieved what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
in my career. I would be doing improvements as well, but in a smaller scale, maybe.
Not compared to what you
Over time. Then here a big impact. I was involved in relocating to a new hospital in the Karolinska, then the old Karolinska to the new Karolinska. Big projects with imaging, with the neurology and neuroscience departments, and somehow in the years that came after that, slowdown, pandemic, all this, the urge in me to do something different grew.
Yes, exactly.
And then 15 years in Karolinska is a huge, is like a family.
Yeah.
I've met people from different departments when I was doing the education and the planning, and these are years that are, you put a lot of time, spend time with different people, and it was difficult to leave, actually, I have to be honest, and sometimes I miss them. Because it's like a family. We worked together many years, and we achieved amazing things together. And I'm just proud and humble to be part of that. Just a little piece on the machinery, but still grateful, and very good time.